Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Prediction Show live from Eagle Pass Sports Central, coming to you today from Ancira Eagle Pass. We've got the Mavericks coaching staff and the Eagle coaching staff. After quite a week of high school football, we're going to talk to both staffs. We're going to talk a little bit about the games last week, about the game upcoming this week for the Mavericks, which we will be covering for you. We want to thank the folks here, Rodney Wynn at Ancira Eagle Pass, for hosting us this afternoon. Want to invite you to come down here, take a look around, have Rodney Wynn and his staff show you all of the good things they can do for you here at Ancira Eagle Pass. Coaches, we had quite a week of games last week, and we'll start here to my left with Coach Villaseñor. Coach, a tough loss last week up in San Antonio against Southwest, 28-13. Talk to us a little bit about what you learn after a game like that and how you use that moving forward.
Well, I mean, we got to put four quarters together. I thought we came out a little slow to start off the game in the first half, picked it up in the second half, but you got to play four complete, and that's been the message throughout the week. Kids have been resilient. They're excited for the next opponent, next opportunity, and we're excited to showcase that on Friday night and get our first district win.
Talk to us a little bit about bright spots. Looking back at the tape, what did you see offensively that worked well for you as well as defensive?
I thought our run game picked up well in the second half. Tadeo Rivera, who we moved up, came in, did a formidable job, protected the football, scored. Abiel Cardona, again, everything kind of came to fruition in the second half, threw the ball well. But like I said, Southwest had a lot to do with that in the first half, and kind of got into the scheme of things, got into the flow of things, picked up some confidence along the way, moved the chains, and kids responded well in the second half.
This week, you've got Medina Valley coming in to Kozo Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium on Friday, tomorrow. Talk to us a little bit about what we can expect from the Medina Valley team coming in.
Well, they're coming off, they beat Laredo Martin. That's been their only win. They've had some injuries along the way, so they got a freshman quarterback coming in. We feel we can exploit that a little bit. We got some people back on offense that we feel can help us, and looking forward to the next challenge.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit here to your offensive coordinator, Heriberto Royce. Coach, as we bring you in here, talk to us a little bit about, from your position as offensive coordinator, what you saw last week and how you've built on that for the coming game.
Yeah, well, definitely, like Coach Villaseñor mentioned, we started very slow. First quarter, we had some penalties. Actually, we had, I believe, 9 penalties for over 90 yards. That's a lot of penalties. And we had struggled early, first quarter, second quarter. Totally a different team in the third and fourth quarter, and that's something that we talked about. We preach. We're still working on that third down efficiency. We got to get better at that. Like Coach Villaseñor mentioned, Tadeo Rivera came in and gave us a little extra spark in the second half. He didn't start the game, and obviously it was a great thing to see. Obviously, the more you see that you can put together, and we feel very confident for this week. Obviously, we feel confident because of the fact that we had great attendance. Kids were relentless. They were there. It's easy to, when things are going good, it's easy for you to be happy and content. But when things are not going your way, how you respond, how do you go about your business, it shows the character really of who you are. And like Coach Villaseñor mentioned, we feel very, very happy to see how the kids responded.
Said something interesting there. Morris and I talk a lot about it in the booth. Down and distance, right? That's important. Getting to manageable third downs, that helps a little bit with the conversions that you're talking about.
Absolutely. And then that's something that we struggled with, 2 weeks ago, and then obviously against Southwest, and something that we are aware. And it's a combination of everything. How you feel, how you set up plays, and how we control the tempo. The more success you have, the better momentum you have, the more up tempo you feel that you can execute, and confident that you can execute that, especially on third down, like we said.
Tell us what you're facing tomorrow against that Medina Valley defense.
Medina Valley is they're aggressive. They're usually they're going to show you out front. Something that we already seen. We should feel comfortable as far as in the box. Their middle linebacker number 34, Caden Keller, very active. He good speed, good size. And obviously, we feel that their defensive backs are what makes him go. So that's something that we're aware. Obviously, we're a running team. for the most part. We need to make sure that we execute and take care of the upfront. Coach Lopez, like again, and Coach Soto do a great job with our O-line. They've been doing a great job. It's just a matter of putting it together, eliminate penalties, and making sure that we stay on the field as much as we can. Even if we don't come out with points that given drive, we got to stay on the field, because that's going to give us a sense of where we need to be at as far as the play calling and obviously executing the plays.
Good. We'll talk to defensive coordinator René Ramirez here. Coach, talk to us a little bit about how your defense performed last week up in San Antonio and how you build off of that for this coming week.
Yes, sir. I think for the most part, we were able to match the physicality. What happened early on was they gave us a different look, and we tried to make that quick adjustment with that same personnel. But at the end, we had to adjust to a different way. Okay, bring in some other personnel, and I think throughout the remainder of the game, we did a great job on that. Something again we weren't used to seeing throughout, at least on film. I think they did a great job on that. Mixed in a little bit of the spread as well. Again, trying to exploit us on the edge or to the perimeter, and they were successful at one time. But I think what hurt us at the end of the day was we gave 2 explosives for touchdowns, and anytime you do that, no matter who you're playing, it's going to be a tough situation to try to bounce back.
Sure. Now, tomorrow against Medina Valley, what kind of offense are they bringing to the table, and how do you prepare for that?
They're primarily a spread team. Again, up front, they're big, like most teams are versus us. We need to find a way, as we have been throughout. I think our D-line did a great job last week and really has been consistent throughout. So we need to be physical there. They're going to want to feature their back. Okay, young kid runs hard. As Coach mentioned, they have a freshman quarterback. So if we can rattle him, get to that, going back to that third down you're talking about, if we can get to that situation, I think we put ourselves in a good situation as well. Whether it's a 2-back set with 1 tight end, no tight end, and again, mixing some spread. Spread is a little bit more predictable as far as what they do. So if we get to that situation, again, we feel free. We got to be able to match personnel as well. And if we do that, I think we like our chances. Again, it's getting off the field, obviously setting up punt return,
sure,
and not extra point block, PAT blocks.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
So again, like Coach said, both coaches, Coach V, Coach Royce, is our kids, believe it or not, they're still hungry. They're confident. They have a great attitude, and it starts with us. It starts with us keeping them engaged and believing that we're still in a good situation, believe it or not. So again, we expect a good outcome, great intensity, and a good fight for 4 quarters. That's what we need.
Let's look forward to that. We'll be there tomorrow. We'll bring head coach Eric Villaseñor back into the picture here as we finish talking to the Maverick coaching staff. We will be there live tomorrow here at Kozo Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium, Morris Lipson Jr. and myself, to bring you all of that action. Coach, some final thoughts, some final words about your team tomorrow.
I just want to wish our freshman and JV teams the best of luck today. I want to congratulate the Eagles on their victory last week. And, hopefully we can get good community support tomorrow night. The kids certainly respond to that, and we're looking forward to playing Friday night.
Sounds great. We'll turn our attention here to my right, bringing head coach Tom Gonzalez, coach for the Eagles. Coach, I just about lost my voice last Friday up in the booth at San Marcos. An amazing victory for you. You went into that 4th quarter down 31-19, if I'm not mistaken. And an amazing 4th quarter comeback for the Eagles there, and finished off with a victory 39-31. We were going, like I said, crazy in the booth just looking at what was happening in front of us. Your team looked gutsy, lots of determination there in the 4th quarter. Your thoughts?
Yeah, our kids showed up in the second half. Once they got a good feel of the game, of who their opponents are, I thought our coaches did a fantastic job of adjusting at halftime. Both offense and defensive coaches, and the kids responded real well.
Good. It was sparked by an interception. The turnaround, I think it was Leckler, right, that intercepted that. What are you telling your team on the sideline as a?
Yeah, it was Robert De La Garza.
It was Robert De La Garza. There you go. What are you telling your team on the sideline when you're down that much going into the fourth quarter? How do you come back from
Well, the thing about our kids, and traditionally, I guess the last couple of years, we've been able to come back on very tough opponents, and our kids know that. And we tell them, look, you guys have won, in 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. Y'all know how to win. So a game like this, you got to play your 4 quarters and see what happens in the end. And our kids are very resilient. They fight till the very end, and it showed on Friday night.
This week, you guys are off. Eagles don't have a game open. I know you hate to tell your kids you're off, right? Coach speak. So you're open this week. You start district play in earnest the week after that, and then they're all district games to finish out the season. What does the program do on an open week to keep the intensity, keep the energy, and get prepared?
We talked about it this morning. You got to keep it fresh, of course, and keep them interested, because they do tend to kind of lag a little bit. But we haven't changed our routine from this week to any other week. We keep it the same. We lift in the mornings. We go through our team. We go through our scouting report for Alexander, and our coaches, again, they do a good job of communicating all that stuff with the kids. And so honestly, I feel like we're ready to play tomorrow.
Wow, good deal. Well, let's talk to offense coordinator Javier Cardenas here, who'll join me. Coach, talk to us a little bit about what you saw from your offense last week. That incredible fourth quarter comeback sparked first by the defense, but then once your unit got on the field, your quarterback, your receivers, your running back all contributed.
Well, taking advantage of those opportunities is prime of a good football team. Of course, our goal is to score and score as much as we can, and obviously stay on the field as much as we can. Of course, last week we know how effective Isaac Stanwyck is, his explosive stats. They're going to come up on the newspaper where I tell the kids. We know Sebastian Diaz, our receiver, had an explosive game as well. His stats are going to appear all over the headlines as well. But there's a lot of stuff that's not going to appear on those headlines. Our offensive line, and we use this words today. They played a very tough but very clean game. I thought it was just one of the cleanest games we've seen in a long time from our offensive linemen. And they really did control the line of scrimmage in the second half against a very formidable box. I mean, these guys, they probably outweighed us, in all positions inside the box, but our kids stood their ground. So that's point number one. Point number two is the perimeter blocking of our receivers. Really, we kind of dropped our whole play sheet and we hung our hat on 3 plays because they were working. It was the flood pass. They started dropping back. Let's just run the ball now off of that. So that worked brilliantly, but that was set up by the receivers and their explosive plays, and they're blocking the perimeter. And we can't forget about TJ Mattis. Again, obviously their scouting report said in bold letters, stop number 26. That's their offense. So TJ went left, 11 guys went left, and they forgot to account for number 12. So TJ played a big factor, even though his stats aren't going to show as explosive as Stanwyck's, obviously. His part in the victory is monumental. It's huge. So he did things that are not going to appear on the stats, blocking and doing the dirty job. So proud of all our boys.
Morris and I talked about that in the broadcast last Friday as the game concluded. TJ Mattis, real selfless play, didn't sulk when they were keying in on him. He helped where he could. Lots of great blocks to spring Stanwyck. And then, of course, acting as a decoy all that time. It's a kind of play and it's a kind of participation you want on your team.
Right. We've been in the locker room, a little bit of insight, to what happens. I know the public just sees the X's and O's. There's so much preparation that goes behind the scenes. We're psychologists, we're teachers, we're dads, we're moms. We play the role. We play multiple roles as coaches, and we live up to that. But it gives you a piece as a coach and how you call the game whenever your star running back comes and says, Coach, I don't care if I have to block. I'll block. I just want to win the football game. So that puts you at an ease and peace, knowing that all these kids are all in. It's what we preach in our program. We've been preaching the last 5 years, and you see the difference in the results speak for themselves. And we hope that this is a good foundation to carry us into our new season. Obviously, we're all 0-0 going into district, but we just feel those close games are going to give us a good catalyst and a good, to build on. When we are in close games with our district, because we have a very tough district we play in, they'll give us that edge going into our district play.
We'll talk to defense coordinator Roger Olivas here, bringing him into the picture. Coach, we've mentioned it a couple of times already. It was a defensive play that sparked the comeback in the fourth quarter. I, in a million years, wouldn't have thought that they were going to pass, that San Marcos would have passed in that situation. We were all sure that they were going to grind the clock down and just run. Their quarterback throws essentially across his body coming off of the field, and the pick is right there, and that's what sparks the comeback. Talk to me about what you told your defense coming into that fourth quarter.
Well, if you saw the game, it really started in the second quarter. We were 3 for 3 on fourth down stops. 2-point conversions and went for it 4 times. We stopped them all 4 times. They went to their bread and butter play several times, and we kept stuffing it. And our kids build momentum in halftime. I went in there. We did our adjustments, and the players kept telling me, "Coach, we got this. They're not going to do anything anymore," you know. And even to start off the game, the first play of the game, we called that they're going to run a post, and they ran a post, and our DBs just didn't backpedal and they didn't turn and run, and their 14 was really good. And all throughout the game, they were 3rd and long, 2nd and long. So we took care of our business first down. And like I told the boys, we want them in those situations, 2nd and 3rd and long. And, you know, they kept believing, they kept fighting. You know, in the second half, they drove the ball 1 time. After that, they didn't do anything. If you go back and look at every series, we stopped them every series. And, you know, we just kept drawing up. This is what they're doing. This is how we're going to adjust. And on that pick play, it was just a cover 2. You know, one boy went. You know, we adjusted to the sit, and our boy had Robert had a really good angle of making that interception. He almost returned it for a touchdown too. He was 1 block away.
And of course, San Marcos had one last gasp effort after it's 32-31, and again the defense comes up with an interception, kind of to seal the deal there.
They had some big tackles. They were holding the whole game. Me and Coach Gonzalez were going crazy because they wouldn't call holding. So we told our guys, get a little bit wider. Let's bring the pressure. Let's let them extend their arms, and they did. And you know, we ended up having 7 sacks against 2 probably Division I tackles are going to play sometime on Saturdays. You know, maybe one might even play on Sundays. But that's all we did. We brought more pressure, and we started sending a linebacker up the middle. And that time they thought he was going to come. He dropped, and he was in the passing lane.
Big number 79. Yes, we hear from the media in San Marcos that some scouts buzzing around the campus for a couple of Division I teams. So thank you very much, Coach. We appreciate it. We'll bring both head coaches back in for our prediction. Before that, we want to remind you to come by Ancira Eagle Pass for all of your automobile needs. Come by and take a look at the cars that they've got here. Let Rodney Wynn and his staff talk to you and put you in a new car today. Coaches, Morris isn't here today. I've banned him from the show for this week for making fun of me last week about my picks, and so he's not allowed on the premises until he gets straight with me. Just kidding. Morris is at a class reunion up in College Station for his class, his graduating class at A&M, and we wish him and all of those folks the best up there in College Station. He did submit his picks, and we'll start with the picks that we all submitted and see what we've got going here. Our first game is South San versus South Side. Coach Graff, your pick?
South Side.
And Morris has picked South Side as well. Coach Gonzalez?
South side.
Going with South Side. Coach Villaseñor?
South side.
South Side, and I will make it a clean sweep. South Side there. And we'll go over our overall records towards the end of this. Next game is Southwest versus Nixon. Coach Graff?
Southwest.
Going with Southwest. Morris has picked Nixon. Coach Gonzalez?
Southwest.
Southwest. Coach, you just faced this team a week ago. What is your pick?
I got to go Southwest.
Southwest, and I will go with, I know it's a tough pick for you, personally, but I'm going to go with Southwest there too. Next game is Bracketville at Sabinal. Coach Graff.
Bracket.
Going with the Tigers. Bracket. Morris has picked Bracketville too. Coach Gonzalez?
Bracketville.
Going to pit Bracketville. Coach?
Bracketville.
We're all on the same page today. I'm going to pick Bracketville, too. We've got a lot of good friends up there in Bracketville. Want to say hello to all of the folks that work at the city of Bracketville. Know all of them, all good people. Next game is Divine versus S.A. Davenport. Coach Graff. Going with Davenport. Morris has gone with Divine. Coach Gonzalez?
Divine.
Picking Divine there. Coach
I'm
Villaseñor?
going to go Davenport.
Davenport. And I'm going to go with Divine on this pick. Here's something of a hometown interest for Coach Graff. Pearsall at Stockdale. Coach Graff. Pearsall there. Morris has picked Pearsall as well. Coach Gonzalez
Pearsall.
going with Pearsall.
Pearsall as well.
And I am done going against the current because I need to catch up. So I will pick Pearsall as well. We'll move to the college game now. We had some amazing games over the weekend in the college ranks. The college season is looking amazing. My own team, the Missouri Tigers, had a real tough luck loss on Saturday. We should have won 3 times that game. But Auburn came away with the victory. We'll start out west, Washington down in the Rose Bowl at UCLA. Coach Graff going with the Huskies. Morris has picked Washington as well. Coach Gonzalez?
Washington.
Going to go with Washington.
I'm going to go Washington.
Washington there. And I will go with Washington as well. They're having a good season so far. Now down to the SEC, Kentucky at Ole Miss. Interesting game there. Lane Kiffin now down at Ole Miss doing a great job with that offense. And, of course, in Kentucky, they've really had a good season as well. Coach Graff. Going with Kentucky. Morris has picked the Wildcats as well of Kentucky. Coach Gonzalez?
We're going to go with the Land Sharks.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, Ole Miss.
Coach Bastian.
Ole Miss.
Going with Ole Miss, and I will go with Ole Miss as well. I think Lane Kiffin's gang can pull it out there. Texas A&M at Mississippi State. The Aggies go on the road for about 2-3 weeks in a row now, culminating with a road matchup against Alabama. This is the first one of those against the Bulldogs. Coach Graff, what do you have? Going with A&M there. Morris, of course, picked A&M as well.
A&M.
Coach picking A&M. Coach V?
A&M.
Going to go with A&M. And I'm going to go, I think Leach pulls this one out. I think this is one of those old Mike Leach
With a Pirate.
upsets. Going with the Pirate there. So I'm going to pick the Bulldogs. I'm going to pick Mississippi State there, get Morris all upset at me for when he comes back for the game tomorrow. All right, now we'll move on to the NFL. We've got a real interesting quarterback matchup. Mahomes going down to Tampa Bay. We think hurricane and weather permitting down there in Florida. Chiefs at Bucks. Coach Graff. Morris has picked Tampa Bay as well. Coach Gonzalez?
Tampa Bay.
Chiefs. I'm going to go Chiefs.
Going with the Chiefs, and I will go with the Chiefs as well. I want to say to my friend Joe Jefferson in Kansas City, Missouri, let him know that I'm backing the Chiefs. It's over for the Royals this year already, but the Chiefs still always have a chance with Patrick Mahomes. And the last game, the Washington Commanders, still feels weird to say, coming into Dallas to face the all of a sudden resurgent Cowboys under Cooper Rush. Coach Graff. Going with the boys. Morris has picked Dallas as well.
Always Dallas.
Coach V?
Cowboys.
Going to go with Cowboys. You're not a Carson Wentz believer, Coach.
No, sir.
And I will go with the Cowboys as well. Our picks up to this point, Coach Graff is at 27-23. Morris has some kind of secret. He's at 34-16. Coach Tom at 26-24, tied with Coach V, and I don't think there's any need to go any further than that. We're going to work on our picks. We're going to work on our picks from here on out. Coach Graff, going to come to you now and have you talk to us a little bit about the athletics programs here for the ISD. You want to come take a seat here, so you can let us know what's going on in EPISD athletics this week.
Well, thank you, Ruben. On Friday, other than the football, we've got Wayne High School volleyball is going to also play Medina Valley there at the same time the football game's going on. And then tennis, you got Eagle Pass High School is going to play at South. It's going to play, at Eagle Pass High School against South. The JV is going to be there at the SAC. That's on Friday. And then on Saturday, cross country, Eagle Pass High School is going to Seguin. And then the volleyball, Eagle Pass High School is at LBJ. And then you've got tennis. Wynn High School is going to play in Uvalde.
Want to wish all of the teams at EPISD the best of luck this week. Our 2 band programs will be competing as well this week. The Thundering Maverick Band will be down in Laredo. The Mighty Eagle Band will be up at Rutledge Stadium at Jetson for Rocket Review, and we want to wish them the best, both band programs as well. Folks, we want to thank you for joining us today for the Prediction Show live from Eagle Pass Sports Center. Remember to join us live on Facebook and YouTube. Morris will be back tomorrow, and we will be bringing you the game from Coastal Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium between the Mavericks and Medina Valley. Signing off for now, my name is Ruben Valadez. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.